Hey everybody, welcome to the next episode of Booze and Brews.
Good to see everyone.
Really getting late in the day for coffee, but it's still happening.
It's okay. It took us a good 15 minutes to get the coffee made because we were having a Keurig issue. So
Keurig.
We
Don't fail me, Keurig.
On the pot issue.
So we knew the Keurig was going to die like a year ago because it was gurgling funny. So we bought an extra Keurig and have been just waiting it out, you know, and I don't know. Today might be the day.
Today might be the day that we have to actually switch it, but
goodbye,
seems
Keurig.
like a lot of work, so we just went with a pot of coffee instead.
Yeah, for now, and which I'll have 1 cup of. So
that's okay. I'll drink it.
I can't. I'm old now. I can't drink it past a certain time.
Oh, I can still drink it.
I'm up at night.
Someone just asked me that last night because I had coffee about 6:30 last night, and
no,
aren't you gonna stay awake? And I'm like, I'm awake anyway. It does not matter if I have coffee or no coffee.
I don't know. These are the days where now I can't have this past a certain time, or tomatoes at night, or I don't know. It's a mess. So, anyways, welcome to our begrudging physical body ailment podcast.
Which isn't even what the podcast is about.
It is not.
But I bet you that one's coming.
Maybe. Today we wanted to talk about meditation, and we've talked about meditation before, but I wanted to kind of dive a little deeper into different types of meditation and how you can use meditation as a tool for ascension development and learning more about your journey here. Because really, while I mean, I don't want to, extinct myself in saying this, like, while it's great to have healers and coaches and mentors to go to, really all of this information, all these tools are within inside of you, and it's part of your healing journey. So it's really how much you want to dive into it, because looking for validation externally is helpful if you're learning, and trust me, we all need that at times. We need that check-in with someone else, especially when you're just learning how to do things. But ultimately, this is your journey. Like, this is your life, your journey. And these tools resonate inside of you, and it's learning how to tap into them and use them to help yourself, because the validation for why you're here, your purpose here, it comes from within inside of you. It can't really be, told to you, really told to you externally. Am I making sense with that?
Yeah, I think you have to understand.
It's like seek and find, right?
Yes, but you have to understand what your journey's about. I mean, someone can.
I can speculate, tell you,
like, kind of
pull cards for you. Yeah.
Figure out things, maybe like reclarify things. But if you don't understand what your journey's about or whatever, it's never going to resonate with you. So you need to understand it. So.
You have to be in it. You really have to submerge yourself into it. Immersed. Perfect word. Yeah. So to clarify when we talk about ascension, it means like raising your vibration up, and meditation does that. So you actually kind of descend yourself subconsciously to ascend your vibration. Mm-hmm. So it seems like a contraindication, but it's not. So you have to allow your body to come into a restful place in order to allow more information to come. So meditation is a very cool tool. And also, I think we've talked about this before, where I feel like meditation and prayer, while similar, are very different. I feel like prayer is an offering. You're asking for, something to be sent to someone else. Or to yourself, right? Like, you're praying for yourself, you're praying for salvation for someone else, you're praying for, peace, love, whatever, for something to be offered and given. Whereas with meditation, you're actually asking for clarity and answers. So, it serves a different purpose, although I feel like the state of mind is fairly the same. It comes sort of in the intention and in how it's phrased. So there are many different ways to meditate, and we have a whole intro to meditation class. If you're interested in learning how to meditate, sign up for that class, because that's a great way to get your feet wet and just start to meditate. And speaking of getting your feet wet, this weekend we did a Mother's Day retreat, which is, and it was really fun. So we had people come in and do various services, and one of them was a guided meditation, which is a form of, obviously, meditation, and it's like storytelling. And you can find this online through various apps like Calm and Breathe and stuff like that. But it's also very interesting to do it with live in person, right? because you're having a whole different kind of experience. So through the guided meditation we did, like I said, it's like me telling you, or Lynn telling you a story, and we've written, like we've authored the story. We haven't, intentionally to cater to our audience, so that it fits the scenarios that we want. So what's very cool in a situation like a guided meditation, like the one we did this weekend, we bring you down into a very relaxed state where hopefully you're very chill. All you're doing is following the words of the meditation and listening to the story and zoning out and just kind of falling into the story and putting yourself in the story, because you in the story is the incremental part. Not just telling you some fantasy story. I'm telling you a story where you're a character.
Yeah, I was going to say it changes it when you feel like you're present, because
it's like a dream.
Yeah, you're not seeing just somebody else. You're not watching like a movie or something like that.
You're not just relating to the character, you are the character. Yeah. So it's like brings you almost into like a dreamlike state where you can visualize everything around you. And sometimes they're called visualizations. But I brought up the whole the water thing because we did it all on a beach, right? So we were walking along the beach. It was very peaceful. But the very cool thing about that type of meditation is that we put in parts for messages to be delivered to the specific individual, where it's not scripted. So I didn't write the answers. It wasn't like now in like a hypnotherapy, I would probably script it because I'm trying to purposely insert programming. We want to quit smoking or lose weight or whatever it is. So we're going to insert those ideas into the subconscious so that they can ruminate on that and it can make like a hard set change. The guided meditation, at one point we were, they were getting on a sailboat. And I explained to them and they were so excited about the sailboat trip because the sail was their favorite color. Now, of course, not everyone in the room has the same favorite color. So afterwards, one person's sail is blue, one person's sail is pink, whatever it is, because that's their favorite color. Yeah. At another point, there were kites flying on the beach, and I said that they were amused because they saw a kite of one of their favorite animals. But I don't know what their favorite animal is. Maybe one of them is a crocodile and, one of them is a bear. I don't really know. But the point is that your brain and your subconscious fills in those gaps. And then we have even more specific prompts where we ask for messages to come through. So, they might find a piece of paper or they might find a message written in the sand. And through the meditation, we're asking them, what does it say? It could say you're going to find 3 words written in the sand, and this message is meant for you. What does it say? So everybody's message comes out differently, as it should. Some.
Not everybody's going to have the same message, or
it would be weird if you did, right? But the point being that it allows your subconscious to come through, then to tell you, fill in those gaps as to what you need to hear. And a lot of people, when they come out of a guided meditation like that, they are truly blown away at how visual it was, how they really felt like they were there. And also that the messages they received were so poignant to them, and you don't have to search for them. It's not like, oh, it's this message, or it's this message. No, it's just a message.
Yeah, they weren't sneaky, where I couldn't find the message, I didn't know where to look, or we're telling you, and that's the point of the guided meditation, and that's the excitement when you can do something like that, either in person, or it's like a private session where it's just you getting the meditation, because it is geared towards you, and then you, as the person receiving it, we're not trying to trick you, we want you to be able to get the clarity, the information, the message, whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it's important to you. It's important for your higher self to be communicating that. So, and it's also helpful to have someone guide you through it versus, I could take myself on a journey, except that I might end up at a grocery store shopping in my to-do list in my meditation rather than focusing on this lovely journey on the beach. So that's one type of a very helpful meditation. This is a tool where you can start to receive and download those messages for yourself. Another one I think we've talked about before is intentional meditation, where you set the intention, you ask the question purposefully. I would like to know more information about fill in the blank, about what would help me lose weight? What would help improve this relationship? What do I need to do if the lights go out? I don't know. Just whatever you would like to know more about, like what my life purpose is, or I mean,
Career,
it could
anything.
big,
I mean,
small, medical,
anything.
health, all of it. Like it could be any of it, right? So if you set that intention, just set one at a time. You can't answer all the questions in one meditative session. But if you are intentional about it, and again, it might take a few minutes for those other thoughts that you have to kind of like percolate out. You might go through your to-do list and let it go, just let it go, just let it go. And then you just allow your subconscious to dive deep and dive deep. It's like going down into like a submarine, I feel like, where you just kind of keep sinking lower and lower and lower. But when you are actually thinking about it, your subconscious is going higher and higher and higher, because you are becoming part of more of a collective, a connected state than just entertaining the thoughts in your mind. So you can go ahead.
Sorry, and as you go deeper, you tend to be able to let go of the ego a little bit more. So ego really drives our thoughts and tells us, in our normal everyday life, what we're doing and direction to head in or whatever. But when you want to know more on a spiritual or a vibrational level, ego kind of gets in the way because it wants to logic everything out. So something might not make sense in I'm awake, this is a reality kind of situation, as opposed to in a meditation, like, oh, this is what I want to attain, like, let's figure out how to get there. And the ego sometimes is like, can't be done.
Right. It's decided. Yeah. Or it's made a way that, or now you start making reasons as to why not, or how it's not happening.
You fight it more. So we don't want you to fight it.
Yeah. And I think that's really why people say they can't meditate or they avoid it. I feel like sometimes it's an avoidance where it's not scary. They just don't know how to get to that point of that let go. Yeah. And it seems like I don't know. There's like an ego part of like, I can't do that.
I also think it's scary for some people because sometimes at the end of the day, there's something to change. And
you're going to get an answer.
And maybe you weren't ready for it. And
yeah.
That can be really tough for somebody who just wasn't ready to be given that information or receive the information, but also ready to not make the change.
Right.
Whatever change it might be. And it might be a little change. It might be a huge change. So that can sometimes be a little bit like, oh, I've opened up.
And it's really helpful too if you allow yourself into that meditative state and you have some thoughts. It could be just a word, it could be an idea. When you're done the meditation, to really jot them down in your phone, in a notebook, whatever, because you tend to forget. Like you move on with your day and you're like, oh, that was really interesting and it might have been powerful in the moment, but then you're like, it's like a dream. And you're like, what happened? Yeah. Like, what happened again?
And in the immediate aftermath, you're like, oh, I'll remember this. And then 10 minutes later, you're like, wait.
I don't remember. Right. So, so that's one way to meditate. You can also meditate by bringing in other people, by bringing in guides, spirit guides, guardian angels. You can ask others to join. So I read it in a book, and I'm pretty sure the book is Think Rich, Be Rich, something like that. I don't know. It's very old. I think it's written by Hall, the last name, guys. Anyway,
I'm like how you bring people in, and then you proceeded to say guides and angels.
Well, there's people to me, I guess. Well, you're right. They're beings. Okay, right. So
it's okay.
So anyway, I don't want to plagiarize this guy's work by like slaughtering it, but anyway, by the end of the book, it explains to you that you can create a meditation that's, in my interpretation, was like a boardroom and it's very cool because I tried it. I went into a meditation and I was like, I'd like to invite 6 people into my boardroom, and this boardroom was about me and about like what I need to do if I was running my life, as a business or whatever.
I thought you were going to stop it with, if I was running my life. I'm like, well, who was?
Right. But what would my board have to say? What would my board of directors have to say about it? And what trajectory should I be on? What feedback do they have? And for me, I left the door open for whoever to fill the seats. And I remember most of who filled the seats, and it's like certain angels had come in, certain figures from the past came in and sat down. And I didn't question why they were there. And some of the angels I didn't really recognize, so they introduced themselves. So now I'm like trying to take mental notes of what it is. And, you know, so if I'm the agenda in this board meeting, like what do they have to say? What do they have to say about it? And it wasn't scary, you automatically, for me, I was like, oh gosh, it's like Judgment Day. No, it wasn't at all. It was very lovely. It was very open. It was very supportive.
So it's not like at a job where you have like a review.
I didn't feel like I was in a job review.
So you're failing.
Yeah, right. Well, let's review your performance, and they smack down a bunch of papers. No, but it was very gentle, and it was also an energetic exchange where you could feel the energy of that being, that angel, that guide, whatever it is, even if they didn't say a lot of narrative. So it's very interesting to do. I don't know, you could do like a quarterly check-in with your board. You can also ask specific ones to come. Like you would like to see, Archangel Raphael or Archangel Michael or whoever you particularly resonate with. And you don't have to do it as a board meeting. You can do like a one-on-one. You can say like, can I set my intention to have a meditation with Archangel Metatron, and see what that archangel has that can help you. So that's the very interesting specific tools of how to help you seek the guidance that you're looking for in solving problems and leading your life. One of the things that we're doing right now is our shadow work group is doing channel writing. This is a whole different type of meditation. Now you can meditate and then write about it, or you could channel write it. So in a channel writing state, you are fluidly writing while meditating. And you can do it pen and paper. Like Lynn is more like a paper pencil kind of person. I am not. I need to type.
If I were to type while I was meditating, I would have literally the code to something, because I would not be able to type actual words. I would be way too focused for myself on fixing them, like backspace, because I would be making error after error.
Well, and that's kind of what I was going to say next, which is a good lead in, is like, don't worry about the grammar, don't worry about the punctuation, don't worry. You can edit later, like that's someone else's job, like the awake you, the
I just
ego
don't even
you.
think I would be able to look back and actually understand what I even wrote. Like I don't think I would have had
because I'm a very
word.
So like I'm a very fluid typer.
Yeah,
like I'm so old that we took typing in school.
Oh, I know. Oh my god, like J K L semicolon. Actually, that's not
J, right. Anyway, so
oh my god, I'm
enter, ching, and it will go to the next line. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I hated that.
Oh, I love typing class. Anyway, so I'm a very fast typer on my own. But yeah, I do make errors, and it doesn't matter. I try to go back later and edit it so I understand it. But it's allowing your mind that free space to just get out what it wants to get out. And this is where you can connect to angels, you can connect to your higher self, you can just ask for a message from source, from the universe, and you just allow it to come out. You just allow it to come right through you. You put it on paper. You don't need to process it while you're writing it. Processing it meaning in your mind. You don't have to understand it. Just write it down. Just write it down. And it is, you think like, yeah, right. I'm telling you, this is like a mind-blowing experience. And then when you start doing it, you're like, oh, well, look at that. and when you reread it and you edit it or whatever, and you're kind of like, well, that makes a lot of sense to me. Like So I'm going to share, not of course her name or her situation, but like, one of the people in the shadow work group who's been doing this channel writing and has really been practicing it. And I'm very proud of her. She wanted to channel write about her job, and she works she's a teacher. So she ends up working every summer, doing summer school and all this stuff. And it's not like her fave, right? I mean, it's not. But she wanted to know more about what is summer going to look like this year? She signed up to teach, so it looks pretty normal, like it always has. But that's not what came out of her meditation. So her channel writing, when she wrote, it started with the lyrics of the song "School's Out for Summer," and she has been very very adamant about like working. She has to work in the summer. Like it's part, there's no wiggle room, right? But here it is, like it's coming out from, she has to connect to her guides and what they thought summer would look like. And it was, so it's the lyrics of the song, and then it goes into why, like why is it school out for summer? And what came out, and when after she wrote like a paragraph, she wouldn't write like a novel, right? So she writes a paragraph, and then she ends, thanks her guides for the information, and she sat back and she read it, and she was like, whoa, like that wasn't at all what I thought. And why school's out for summer really ended up in her meditation really having nothing to do with her personally, even though she would love to take off and has all these things to do that we all would love to do. It had more to do with the situation of that she was in. And it was very telling and very reflective. And it was just like, huh. So now we wait, right? We're going to see what happens and how this plays out. And, but I know it's working in the back of her mind where she's like, well, that was kind of interesting. Like how situations are, she felt like she could foresee, I can see how that could happen and how it could change the trajectory of summer. Yeah, so it was very profound for her, and she was just like, oh. But even more so, she kept asking like, well, why is this happening? What do we need to know this? And the message came loud and clear to her that she needs to begin to match her career desires with her reality. So if you're not thrilled with where you are and what you want to do, and you are just kind of going through the motions because it's your job and you need a paycheck and like we're all stuck doing this, she has to start really focusing on this alignment. So what does it look like? What does the ideal job look like for you? And it's because it's not what it is right now. And how do you get there? Right? So it really pushed her by the end of this meditation into the question of like facing exactly what you said. Like, well, I'm really not thrilled. Like this is okay, but I'm spending every hour of my life doing okay. Yep. And I know it's icking at me. Like it just is, right? So,
and I feel like, and I'm just gonna jump in real quick because I feel like as humans with egos, we justify that. Like, well, it could be worse. I could have a worse job. I could not have a job. I could be, and then you feel like you justify staying in that whatever that's just
Right. And at the end, when she said to me, like, I actually feel like I'm a cog in the system, where it's all a very well-tuned, developed system that we have here on this planet where we're a slave to it, right? Like, well, we have bills. We've created a life where we have bills and responsibility, and we have to pay for them. Therefore, we need a job. And therefore, you have to go to the job, and you have to do all the rules of the job in order to get the paycheck, in order to pay the bills, so that, but if you don't go to the job, you don't have the money, then you can't do this. And it's like pressure. And it puts you further and further away from what your purpose and what you're here to do, unless your job is aligned with your passion of what you're doing. And I think that's where the theory comes in of like, find what you love and then the money follows. Like it seems like a wild idea, but it's not a wild idea at all. If you love dogs, then figure out how to make that part of what you want to do. And it's not impossible. Our egos put up these lines that say like, nope, can't do that. Nope, can't do that. You can do it. You can. Does it mean that you're going to enter at the exact earning point you are now? No, it doesn't. But you can also try to figure out how to make that work. Yeah. So you just start asking the questions on how do you become more aligned with what you want to do. So I think for her, this was like we've talked about channel writing for a long time, and she's committed through this class to follow the prompts and do the writing. And I feel like she's very like taken aback and
surprised about how effective it's been for her.
Yeah. And you're right. And then just like Lynn said, it's kind of, it doesn't force her to change. She has free will. She could not change at all. She could just do summer school as always. But I feel like it gets the wheels turning, and it really starts to make the subconscious poke its little head out and say, are you sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing? Like, you kind of feel like you should be on this path over here, but you're still stuck on this one over here.
And I feel like it gives her like the universal guidance in that way, depending, or the angelic guidance or guides, gives you sometimes the permission. I'm using that in quotes because, again, with free will, like, you could do whatever you want, but the permission to be like, maybe this is possible. I can think about this. Like, maybe I start to actually work on this, and
Or
not just
dream.
be like, oh, I can't.
Right. Open it up
thing.
to a dream.
Yeah.
Like, what? Can you make it happen? Hopefully, somehow you can. So, that's just another, child note writing is another meditative tool. You can also meditate through walking. You can meditate in the shower, and trust me, you all know what you're doing in the shower, that you can go on autopilot and still get a shower while you're meditating. Like, you're not, no one's in there actively being like, now I pick up the shampoo, now I pour the shampoo, now I put the shampoo. You're not doing that. You're going through the motions, you know what you're doing. But there is the idea of the water and the calming effect of a shower, or the calming of your nervous system that you get through a shower, that can really allow your brain that free space just to kind of wander.
The water helps to ground you while you're in the shower, so that you feel less chaotic, less, wild or whatever. And then your mind has the ability, because it's not a task that you probably need to put a whole lot of thought into, you're able to just kind of let it go and let those kind of things go and let guidance come in.
And speaking of grounding, you can also do like a walking meditation through the woods. That's a really fun one. And I know you might think like what I'm going to say is bizarre, which is fine. You might think that anyway, but you can actually talk to nature while you're walking through, grounding your energy. Have you ever sat and asked the tree what they think or how they feel, or because they are connected to the earth, to the root system. They do communicate to each other. I know people are like, oh no, they don't. Yes, they do. They have a very interdeveloped network under the ground where they are communicating. They do have, thoughts, believe it or not. And you could sit there and think about, like, ask them, you might get nothing, but you might get a really cool story. Might allow your brain to do that.
I talk to most things that don't respond out loud. Animals. I've been definitely communicate with a lot of the birds that are in my yard, and the groundhogs that stay out of my yard because of the fence, which is good because the dog doesn't love it. Although they were looking at each other yesterday through the fence, not super close, but no one seemed to care. The other one was where they were supposed to be, and I was like, okay, well, this is okay then. I just made sure that nobody went too got
weird
too
about
aggressive,
it. Yeah.
but everybody was good. The fox visits, the squirrels, the rabbits. It's like
it's a zoo. Yeah, it's called nature, right?
It's nature's zoo.
Nature, right?
But I talk to them.
But you can talk to the plants,
sure.
to the flowers, and and it is proven that they respond to our vibration. Positive. If you tell, there's been studies which I find fascinating where, like, there's bodies of water, and if you infuse it with positive intentions over a period of time, the crystalline energy in the water changes. It works the same as negative, silly. So if you constantly tell it it's dirty, it's mucky, it's whatever, it's going to become that as well. But just the idea of allowing nature to fill you up, to breathe it in, to ground yourself, like, that's an entirely different type of meditation, and one that's relaxing too. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The relaxation part is very appreciated.
It is, because I have never gone. I often set a timer for like 15-ish minutes to meditate on the event that I happen to doze off. But I will say, even in where I feel like I've dozed off, or maybe I actually have dozed off, it's not like I'm asleep for hours. I come out of it within a reasonable amount of time, because I've set that intention. I don't generally fall asleep for like 3 hours. I'm like, oh my God, I just sat down to meditate.
Meditating, and it's tomorrow.
No, it doesn't really happen. Within a half an hour, I've usually resurfaced from that meditation. But set an alarm. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah, you don't want to necessarily be worrying about that. So you can set an alarm, and when it's time to come out. And also when you're coming out of a meditation, do it slowly. You don't want to jolt out because you couldn't, like, I don't know, I get a headache. So just take it slow. Just slowly sit there. Just allow your eyes to open naturally. Just allow yourself to start to like feel back in your own body, without just like bolting up and off to the next thing. Because it's jarring to your system. So, any other thoughts on types of meditation? That's like a few of them.
It's not really a type of meditation, but I find myself really in meditation a lot when I work like on a puzzle. Because again, with the idea that not a whole bunch of thought I need to really put into it, it's just, I find myself contemplating things in more of a
your mind
meditative way than I would if I was doing another kind of like a chore or or whatever. But yeah, I do find my mind definitely wanders to things, and then I'm kind of like okay, like maybe this is something I need to think about, and I kind of leave that open sometimes to the idea that, well, whatever comes to me is maybe something I have to think about, or should think about.
Yeah,
think about
it was delivered to you for a reason,
yeah,
right?
So it's not really a type, but it's
that works for me when I color.
Yeah,
I like to color, and when I first started an adult coloring book, I'm very structured, and I used to have all these, I don't know, like rules about the coloring. Just against all.
I still have some of those, and I need to let it go.
It's really against the whole point of the coloring, because I can't use certain color next to certain color. It only can be these colors, and
I know you're trying to follow the pattern.
What am I doing?
And now, like the way the pattern goes now, the same color is going to end up next to each other on.
Who cares? No one's critiquing my coloring.
Color, and I'm like, this is silliness. Like, just
color. Just pick up whatever you feel drawn to color next and use that color.
Drawn to color.
I don't draw though. Drawing is not my thing. I find drawing very frustrating. Other people probably can meditate through drawing. I cannot.
I cannot draw.
But I've realized in the coloring, like how overly structured my brain can be with these creation of rules that aren't rules, though it's made. There's no coloring book rules, and if there are, that would be silly. Just truly practicing the idea of letting go. Just let it go. Just color the picture. And it's very, even in saying it, I'm like, it's hard for me. That seems bizarre, right? It seems bizarre.
I know. I'm thinking now, I'm like, I really have to work on my
letting go.
My coloring abilities in terms of being go with the flow.
Yes,
I'm
because
breezy.
I'm breezy, right? I'm not entering a contest for my adult coloring book. In any case,
see, I have thought about being in some kind of like puzzle contest, because I can do puzzles fairly quickly, maybe compared to.
Well, now you're making it competitive.
Well, but no, I just
see that is just exactly like I fell into the trap of downloading the word game. There's a word game, and it told me it was Zen. It said that this
in the
game,
title.
It's in the title of the game. This is going to be Zen. Except now there's like a competition, and now I have to win.
Challenges
and I'm like, and now I'm, stressing out about like not stressing, but you know what I mean. Like I've added some weird complexity to the Zen word game, and I'm like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing.
I don't think there's an actual puzzle contest, like who can put puzzles together faster. I don't think,
but this is how you can take Zen activities and turn them into something else. Allow yourself to be
do section of this podcast.
Allow the activity to just be about the activity, just like the meditation. Don't worry about everything else going on around you. Just allow the meditation to happen. Just allow the puzzle to come together, right? Like it's okay. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. Encourages you to try some meditation.
You can all do it.
Everybody can meditate. We are meant to meditate. I think we've made it like such a woo kind of activity, where it's actually a very natural state for our being and ourselves. We are supposed to be connected beyond ourselves to something else out there, as a collective, as something higher, whatever you want to believe, however you want to believe that. But energy is not just contained within ourselves, and you can connect to it all around you. I think that we put all of these like, oh, that I don't know about that. No, it's very natural, and we've created quite the system where we now all think it's unnatural, I guess.
Or like a weird activity.
It's so speculative. Like
Yeah.
it's not. It's just within us. So you know, hopefully this helps you, you know, break through some of those barriers and get some interesting answers for yourself. Find out why. Meditate. Find out what your true purpose is. And don't judge your purpose once you get an answer. Just be okay with it. You know, it's okay. All right.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, till next time, happy meditating.
That's right.
All right. And we'll catch you later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.